Recording in
Okay, I think we're ready to start. We're going to go to James Cole, please. Go ahead, James.
Hey, Danny, can I record, please?
Yeah,
Sorry.
just give me 1 second. My computer, for some reason, is not allowing me to do it. So I'll send it to you. Don't worry.
That's fine. Hi, Joe. Well batted yesterday.
Thanks, James.
Obviously, a lovely way to mark your 150th one-day cap, but also with a World T20 at the end of the year, a timely reminder as well of what you can do.
Well, it was a really good performance actually. From the outset, I thought we played some really good cricket. Nice way to set up the 6 games that we've got of 50 over cricket this year. And as you say, there's World Cup at the end of it all. As a batter, all you can do with the amount of quality and strength in depth in that T20 side is just try and score as many runs as you can and try and affect as many games in a positive manner as you can. And that's how I always try and approach my cricket. I'm not going out there to bat with that as at the front of my mind. All I want to do is try and score as many runs as I can for England. I know it's a very cliche thing to say, but that's fact. Is every time you walk out and play, it's about making as many runs as possible and trying to win games. And that's all you can really look after as a player, and that's all I'll continue to keep doing.
Is it fair to say, though, that you'd love to be involved in that?
Yeah, of course. Every player, I imagine, wants to be part of that squad. It looks like a brilliant team to be a part of. Someone that's currently sat on the outside of it. They're playing some wonderful cricket. It looks, as strong as it ever has done in the format. And, I think whoever is in that final squad going into that World Cup will be full of confidence because they know that, they deserve to be there. And, it's a really promising sign ahead of a major tournament.
Do you still feel like you've got a lot to add to that format, though? Because T20 cricket, particularly in India, as we saw back in 2016, isn't all about hitting sixes, is it? You can offer a lot more in the way you play.
And look, I think that, Silvers and Morgs and the guys that will be involved in selecting that final squad, they know what I can potentially bring to the table. And all I can do is score runs and try and put a case forward in the games that I have available. But, that's all that I'm really concerned about is trying to perform as well as I can across the board, whatever the format, whatever the side that I'm playing in is, how many times can I try and help us win a game? And if I do that well enough, then you never know, I might have a chance at the end of it.
Have you spoken to Owen about it, or do you just focus on your game and get on with it?
No, we've spoken about it in the past, and trying to find what do I need to do to get near the squad. And he's been very open and honest about that. You just got to try and score as many runs as you can. What I can offer, and that's there's no point keep going over the same conversation. You've got a job to do in this series, and my main focus is to perform in these 3 games, and hopefully in the Pakistan series that follows as well.
And finally, from me, I know you were batting at kickoff for yesterday's World Cup game between England and Germany, but did you manage to catch it? Did you watch it as a team?
Yeah, we watched the remainder of the game at the ground. Managed to stay there and watch it there. So fantastic performance. Second half in particular, I thought it was outstanding. That's pretty much what we managed to watch. So it was a good atmosphere watching it as a squad, and fully behind the lads. Hopefully they can keep going, keep playing as they are, and progressing throughout the stages.
Do you feel like it's coming home? And I don't mean the one-day series.
I hope so. We're certainly cheering at the TV screen as much as possible when the next game comes around.
Thanks, Joe.
Cheers.
Okay, let's go to Scott Taylor for 2 questions from TalkSport.
Hey, Joe, good to see you. Just to follow up on what James was saying there about the crowds at Wembley, as someone who's sort of galvanised the nation in 2019, does seeing the scenes at Wembley sort of whet the appetite for playing in front of full capacity crowds again?
Yeah, I think it does, Scott. I think one of the special things about sport is it can really bring a nation together. And I think you're seeing that with us in the World Cup in 2019, but even more so now with this tournament, especially off the back of what everyone's been through over the last couple of years, last year in particular. And no, it's great to see that passion and that sport can really bring that out in people. And now hopefully we can see more of that as things progress over the coming months.
And Owen was saying on Saturday with Joss's injury that the priority for him is red ball cricket, with the 10 test matches against India and Australia you've got coming up. How big a boost is that to you as test captain?
Yeah, I think we're coming into a period of time now where the rest and rotation is sort of put behind us, and we're going to hopefully have, if everyone's fit, then we're going to have our best team available for for what's to follow, and that is something that's really exciting and something that we're all very much looking forward to. There's 10 very hard test matches against 2 brilliant opposition, but it's a great opportunity for us to play some really strong cricket, and as I say, if everyone's available, we'll have a very good team ourselves.
Cheers, Jack.
Yes.
Okay, let's go Lizzie, Julian, and then John.
Hi, Joe. Your test series against India is kicking off the next cycle of the World Test Championship. Having just come out of one, how did you find it? Do you think it gives context to the Test arena?
Yeah, I do. I really enjoyed it. I know it's not a perfect format in many ways, because there's no, I can't really see how you can make it equal and even for everyone. But in terms of having something on every test match, having something to work towards, that final, sat watching it and not being a part of it, it makes you want to be a part of something quite special like that. And we'll have an opportunity this time round to hopefully go a little bit further and better than we did in the first time out.
The first 2 series are pretty tough ones, aren't they, to kick off your campaign?
Yeah, but if you want to get to the final, you're going to have to beat some strong opposition, and you can look at when you play those guys, but ultimately you're going to have to play some strong cricket, and if you come out on the right side of those, then you're in a really strong position for the rest of the competition. So hopefully we can start well and carry forward from there.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, Julian, please.
Hello, Joe. There's been some suggestions you haven't perhaps played as much T20 as you would like in order to help keep you fresh for the tests and the one-dayers. As far as bidding for a place in the World 2020 World Cup squad's concerned, have you been sort of told that it will just purely be on a form selection basis, that you don't have to worry about being rested for anything else?
Regardless of the format, as a batter, I think your currency is runs, and all you can do is try and score as many runs as you can. That gives you confidence. It generally means you're in a good place mentally, and that you're reading the situations and the scenarios that are in front of you very well. And if you can consistently put yourself in a place to win games and make those big contributions, then you'll be in a good place to fit into different teams or different scenarios that across the formats. And that's the only way you can really look at it from me is just try and do that and manage that as best as I can. It's not perfect. The schedule is what it is. There's so much cricket. We play so much more cricket than any other team, and there are compromises that have to be made at times. I'm desperate to play as much cricket for England across the formats as I can. It's not always been that easy to do over the last couple of years, and I find myself currently out of that squad. But as I say, I'll just have to try and score as many runs as I can.
Sure. I mean, I just wanted to sort of clarify that no one sort of said to you, don't get your T20 hopes up too much because we want to rest you for something else. That they've just said, just carry on and have a crack for it.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, that's, in a way, it's not really a conversation I need to have. That'll be their decision, and I'm sure that they'll be looking at trying to pick the side and the squad that they think is going to win the tournament. And as I say, all my concern is trying to force a case. And I know that whatever squad that goes to that World Cup will be a fantastic one. And it's really exciting to see England in that format in particular, with such strength and such optimism ahead of a major tournament. So no, it's a really good place for the team and for the country in 2020 cricket.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go John and then George and finish with Rory.
Joe, I think it's probably fair to say the Red Bull top order struggled a little bit against New Zealand, and between now and the India test, there's a bit of a mixture of format. Are you concerned there's not enough of the sort of the Red Bull stuff and the right batting for them to get back in form before you face India?
Again, as I mentioned just now about myself, a batsman's currency is runs, and regardless of the format, the games that are ahead of the lads that have been in and around our squad, but whether the Red Bull, whether they T20, 100, whatever it is, going out there, scoring big runs time and time again puts you in a really good place. It fills you with confidence. It generally means you're getting in good positions consistently well, and it carries over. And I think it's really important that that's the mindset and the frame of mind going into this next phase of the season for everyone ahead of that series is try and get yourself in a really good place coming into it. And if we manage to do that, then there's huge amount of talent in that top order. We've seen it. They've all proven that they can perform at test level. So it's as much as anything is just readying yourself in the ways that you can and through the games that you've got in front of you. And I think the guys that do that best will be in a really good place to start those 5 test matches.
Were you a little bit concerned? I mean, after those first 3 tests of the year, when you had a huge amount of runs, were you concerned a little bit that your own form has fallen off a little bit since then?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think that you've got to manage your game as best as you can, and it's so hard to be consistent, especially in English conditions at times. But I know I'm a good player, and I know that I've proven time and time again that I can score runs in England and against some of the best teams in the world. And sometimes you have to draw on those experiences. You might have a couple of low scores or string a couple of games together where you don't perform as you'd like. But it doesn't mean you can't do it ever again. And I'll go out there, try and get myself in a good frame of mind ahead of those test matches and try and lead from the front as I did at the start of the year.
Okay, George, and then Rory to finish. Go ahead, George.
G'day. Joe, you mentioned earlier, I think, something along the lines of we're coming to the end of rest and rotation. Do you know something that we don't, particularly with a view to Australia?
Well, I'd like to think that, over the next 5 test matches, we'll be trying to play our strongest side. And, that is, or have our strongest squad available for those games. So this is, I suppose is what you do it for, is to ready yourself for this lead in and for in particular that Ashes series, is to make sure everyone's peaking for that and these big games. So looking forward to hopefully starting well with a full squad of players to pick from.
There's been a bit of talk in the last few days, hasn't there, in other press conferences and stuff, from players expressing completely understandably some nerves about going away for that concerted period of time, possibly without families. Are you confident families will be able to come? Or
I really hope so. And I think, as we've seen with COVID throughout the whole pandemic, is things change very quickly, and we have to move with the times and face the challenges that are put up in front of us. But I really hope that the families are out there. I think it's a really important aspect of that tour, and the amount of cricket that we've got, it's going to be really important that is the case. I can't give you an answer. It's not something I know is fact or not as yet, but very hopeful that will be the case.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And the last one, Rory Dollar.
Yeah, thanks. Joe, just to focus on this run of six ODIs, really, one down, and it's a cluster of games all at home. Just looking at the rankings, they're very, very tight at the top, but England are now sitting 4th in the list. And obviously getting to number 1 in the world was a big point of pride for this team, and as reigning world champions. I just wonder how much or how important it is really, I guess, to reassert yourselves in this 50 over format over these couple of weeks, and put those points on the board and remind everyone that sort of you're world champions for a reason, I guess.
Absolutely. We worked very hard to get to the top of the world in that respect, and very proud of that achievement. So we want to make sure that we can try and continue that for as long as we can, keep showing the rest of the world that we're there to stay, and it wasn't just for a short time. It's something that we want to do for a long period, and it's a great opportunity to these games, having a block of it now is a great opportunity to push that again, and to remind everyone that in the 50 over format we are a very strong side, with strength in depth as well, in 50 over cricket. So hopefully we can continue our good form from the first game in the next one and beyond. But there's a hell of a lot of quality within the squad, and saw that in pockets in the first game, and hopefully we can repeat that time and time again throughout the rest of the 5 games.
Obviously, there was a small portion of time really running up to the World Cup where England had really established themselves as probably head and shoulders really in 50 over cricket. The results were telling that story. Has that top 3 or 4, say, has people caught up to England a little bit, or is that the natural sort of flow of the cycle that things tighten up again a little bit?
Well, I think it always ebbs and flows slightly. It's hard to say. I think you look at the last couple of years, it's been in particular with COVID and the amount of cricket that we've had, there's been compromises made over different formats and different teams, and not had the consistency of, look at that squad that was together pretty much for 4 years with minimal changes. It's looked very different over this last period. And, with that, there is sometimes a little bit of transition and the odd bump in the road, but I don't think that the quality of our team or the ability is lacking or has gone down. It'll be interesting to see us play those other sides that are contending to be the best team in the world, and when we can match ourselves against them next time round, it'll be a great measure of where we are. So with that World Cup being another 2 years away, I'm sure over the next couple of years there'll be more of a focus heading into that tournament again.
Nice one. Thanks, Joe.
Cheers.
Brilliant. Thanks, everyone. Have a great afternoon, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Cheers.